Yo guys, and welcome back to another electric bike review video. This one on the VANPOWERS UrbanGlide-Pro. I just unboxed this last night. I'll try to plug a picture of what it looked like. They did a phenomenal job with the packaging, and well, I did find a little damage. I'll show you here in a few minutes, but let me just first specify they have 3 different models of the UrbanGlide. Now this is the mid-grade, the Pro, but then they also have a standard and they have the top of the line Ultra. So I will drop a link to their website down below in case you want to check out the specs on these. Both the Ultra and the Pro can come in either a small or a large. I did get the large, but the standard only comes in a small size. At first glance, this bike seems really high quality. I mean, it's just seamless all the way around. The only welds I see are back here, but even those are ground nice and smooth. Before giving you the assembly tips, I guess let's touch on a few specs. The battery, 48 volt, 691 watt hours. They do advertise a range on the Pro model from 65 to 70 miles, but you guys know normally see about half X. I'm 180, 6'2", 180 pounds, should I say. And those advertised ranges are usually if you're on assist level 1, pedaling pretty hard the whole time. Tires on here, we got 27.5 by 2.2. Now that's the first 27.5 tire I've seen. You can tell, I mean, that's gonna roll over logs much better and such. It's got hydraulic disc brakes with 180 millimeter rotors, hydraulic front suspension with adjustable preload and a lockout, an adjustable stem that can rotate 90 degrees to help you get the perfect position. And look at the saddle on this. This looks very, very comfy. Actually, I guess that's more of like a grab handle on the back here. Nice rack that's rated for 25 kilograms. Good quality alloy fenders that aren't all flopping in the wind. Now the Ultra model comes with the mid motor, but the Pro, a 500 watt brushless hub motor that has a torque sensor. And you can see on this sticker, this is a class 2 bike, 500 watts, rated at 20 miles an hour. So I did look this bike over for damage, and the only thing I found were a couple little paint chips right up here. Looks like maybe the battery was put in somewhat rough. And then unfortunately the box did get ripped through on the bottom, and you could see in transit it got dragged a few times and scraped up the bottoms of the forks. It's actually got a through axle on it too. I've never owned a bike with a through axle. I do have to say this damage, I don't think it was their fault. It did have multiple layers of cardboard down there, and I mean, I brought this zip tie over just to show you, like, even where they wrapped zip ties around the tires, they wrapped them in cardboard too. They really went the extra mile, but sometimes things get banged around in transit. So I just wanted to show you that. Now, the only 2 loose items in the package are the fender, well, the bars, and this box. And in the box was this charger, which I pulled out last night so I could fire this up, get it fully juiced. This output is 54.6 volts at 4 amps. Seems like a very good quality brick. It's got a lot of weight to it. And check out the presentation here. Oh, look at that. You get the nice little toolkit, a very robust user manual. I will try to put some pictures of that at the end. And then we have a display. This is a 3.5 inch nice quality display. We get the keys in here, aluminum pedals by Guigne, a bell, a reflector, and wow, look at this little headlight. Thing is tiny, but it's got, I mean, this has got some weight to it. Oh yeah, let's not forget about the front wheel. It did come with one of those too. Now, a few tips for assembly. I'll start with putting the bars on. I like that it came with a full set of Allens. Now, I've removed these 4mm Allens. Take the clamp off, bring your bars up, and make sure that you don't have the wires all tangled up. Put them on the right way, you know. Sometimes you can get a little mixed up. That looks pretty good though. Drop the clamp back on and then evenly tighten these 4 screws in a crisscross pattern. We can also install the light. It's 1 bolt. And then plug your 4 connections in. You see they're colored and keyed. The last ones, green and blue, are going to be for the display. So you just kind of carefully snap it around. You snug down the clamps and connect the electrical connections. There's an arrow on each. You just line those arrows up. Same difference as lining the key up on the inside. Now we can drop our front wheel on. This axle's alloy. Seems real high performance. I'll spin the nut off. Take our dummy axle out by loosening each of the inner nuts and slide this out of place. And then remove the pad separator. Now I can lift the bike up and make sure the rotor slips in between the brake pads. Easier if you have a stand or a helper with you. But line that all up and then slide the axle through. It has to slide in from the opposite side of the rotor, because this side is hogged out for this spacer. So the knurled edge, yeah, it fits in there perfectly. And now we can spin that down until you have proper clearance to be able to fold the other side over with some resistance. See, like that was a little too light, so spin it a touch more. Boom. Pump up the brakes a few times, those feel good, and then I can lift the fork and spin this wheel. Spins freely. You hear slightly tweaked rotor, but that's not going to be a big deal. It'll work itself out. And there's a look at the completed bike. Last step I took was going over every nut and bolt, make sure everything's tight, and then make some final adjustments on these bars. I brought these up to 60 degrees on the stem. You can go even higher if you wanted to. And I did have to flip this light around. I had it on upside down before, and it was, you know, it was kind of not pointed right, so I had to flip that. Seat post is in at the minimum insertion, so that's as high as it's going to go. This does have a hydraulic cushion on it too. Like, now to power this bike up, I do see a button down there, but let's see if I mean the battery's installed, so if I just press this for a couple seconds, nothing. Hold it a little bit longer. There it goes. Digitech ride. Oh, that loaded up really quick. And so there's a first glance at the display. That's a really nice looking display. I like that. And being 6'3", here's how I look on the bike. All right, so I could definitely drop the seat down some. Oh yeah, that feels nice. I like the cushy seat too, man. That thing's got some shockage. Next evening, and it's range test time. We're on the edge of Bridesburg. Gonna head into Philly, do a nice little urban ride, full power, speed 5, no pedal assist. I'm 180 pounds and I have about a 20-pound backpack. I did go ahead and set the tires up to 45 PSI. They call from 20 to 50. And I already laid down a few miles riding pedal only. I can say this thing rides like a dream. I don't know what its weight is, but I mean, when you're riding it, it feels like a regular bicycle. So I'll put the weight in right here after I go ahead and weigh it or look it up. The micro shift, 8-speed, flawless, no adjustments needed. It bangs through the gears like a champ. Time to power it up and hit the road. Now it seems you do have to come down and probably just press that button once. And now let me try powering that up. So I was just holding it for 10 seconds and it did nothing. There it is. And starting off in neutral, you hit the thumb throttle, it'll do nothing. You press positive once to get into power assist 1. Let's just do thumb throttle only. There's a look at the acceleration. And that brings us up to 20 miles an hour. See, off to the left, we're passing the old Richmond generating station. Let's try assist 1 using pedals only. Oh, wow. That kicks in immediately. It's like seamless. Definitely a big difference with the torque sensor over a speed sensor. Yeah, you apply a little bit more force on the pedals. Like right now, it's doing 9. If I put a little bit more down, you feel that boost kick in. So that feels really good. I mean, that's light years better than a speed sensor. Seems, oh yeah, let me bump this up a gear. Now in the 8th gear, it comfortably does 17 miles an hour. I'm gonna go to assist 2. Yep, feel a little bit more boost in power. 3. Oh yeah, that's real torquey now. 4 and 5. Oh, it still maxes out at 20 miles an hour, of course, but check out, hey, ooh, what's that noise? Oh, I think that's just my fender alignment. It's hitting a little bit in there when I lay on the brakes real hard. Can adjust that later. Check it out on number 5. I'm in the 8th gear right now. If I pedal, I mean, this thing just takes right off. Oh yeah, that feels like nothing. We're gonna just rock it on number 5. I'll use the thumb throttle only today though, maybe a little bit pedaling, and we'll see how far we make it. With the current gearing, this is what the rotation looks like at 20 miles an hour. And you know, even if I let go of that thumb throttle, if you're on assist 5, you basically have to rotate your feet, not putting any power in at all. And we're showing a true 20 miles an hour on the GPS. It's always wild to think about the history here in Philly, how all these ports were used. I mean, they're still used, just nowhere as much as they were way back in the day. And then how well you can see them, they got these old wooden gantry cranes with steel going across the top. That one's falling over. The bike ride's real smooth, no hands, super stable, geometry's proper. And I gotta say, something that's not too common with all the bikes I test, and I guess we'll take this one way, is the power when you pedal using the pedal assist. It's instant on, instant off. Like the ones that have the speed sensor, there's always a delay. Like they'll keep running for 2 seconds and put you into a pole by mistake in close quarters. It's actually like a really long one way too. I remember ripping the Mustang down this a bunch. With these 27-inch or 27.5, we can hop over curbs, I mean, effortlessly. Whoa! Go down this little thing here. And yeah, it is smooth. And cobblestone, test out those 27.5s. Man, what a difference with those. It's a weird walkway thing we just went through, because now it just turns into this on both sides, just a big fat curb. Kind of odd. Passing by, smelled this Rocco's Italian sausage and Philly cheesesteaks right in front of attached to the Home Depot. Gotta love it. And they use the best Amorosos. We just rolled over 10 miles on the trip, showing 9.9 on my GPS, so that's pretty darn accurate. And I think this is a good spot to have dinner. Comfy little granite seat for me with a view of the SS United States behind us. It was commissioned in 1951 and decommissioned, I think it was 1969. Pretty much been laid up there since. Hopefully they can save it or do something with it, because it is, I think it was like the fastest ocean liner ever. I'm sorry, yeah, I did just confirm. SS United States holds the record for the fastest ocean liner ever built. It was constructed entirely in the United States at a cost of $79.4 million, which is equivalent to $895 million today. Let's see what this cheesesteak's all about. Oh yeah, that is hooked up, guys. That's what I'm talking about. Now let's continue on. We're at 63%, 10 mile mark. We're just gonna keep heading south and then eventually back up. See, these guys are getting started early. I don't really like bicycles in here, but nobody's skating right now, so. So the sun is set, we're at 47%. Now we're only at 16.9 miles, so hopefully we can make it. I think it's only like 14 miles back or so. See how it holds up. I haven't even had to turn the lights on, but probably should just for safety. You hold the positive and it dims the screen, and I don't know how well you can see that, but it's a pretty bright light. Let's check out the tail light on her. Oh yeah, that thing is super bright. And when you hit the brakes, it flashes. Just rolling back into Pridesburg. We are at 4%, and if I don't pedal, it holds us, oh, I don't know, about 10, 12 mile an hour. So we'll call that basically dead. if pedaling, probably still go another few miles, but my truck's right around the corner here. Well, hopefully it is anyway. Yep, there she is. And just checking our GPS, 32.7 miles we got out of it. So that's pretty decent. Not too shabby. And this headlight, definitely was very impressed with it. It's tiny, but I mean, it's bright, and you can do quick adjust on it. See, it's got the square beam. It was a good ride. All right, now I'm ready to wrap things up on the VANPOWERS UrbanGlide-Pro. The battery took about 4.5 hours to fully charge. Up top, you do have an RGB light that was green blinking when it was charging, and then being 100%, it's blue. And drop this in, real simple. You just drop the back, and then let her click into place. Have the key up top. You don't actually have to take it out to charge it. I just wanted to charge it inside the house. Yeah, because you can just plug it in right down here. Nice and convenient. The highlights for me on this bike was the very comfortable saddle, the aluminum fenders, and then these taller tires, the 27.5s. I felt like they did give you a better ride, rolling over curbs and such, and you're not lugging down either. Like, fat tire bikes are cool, but when you're riding with no battery, they just lug you. And these hybrids rode nice and easy. Like, I wouldn't have guessed this bike weighed 70 pounds. I really liked the grips on it, the fact that it came with the bell, super bright headlight, tail light. You get the rack on there. I mean, the build quality on this, as I said earlier, just seems really, really tight. So if you're looking for a class 2 bike that does 20 miles an hour, this should definitely be a contender on the list of bikes you're looking at. I left this bike in the full factory condition, didn't mess around with the settings at all. A lot of these, you can turn them up though and get higher speeds. No, not going into that in this video, but usually that's very much a possibility. It certainly has the power. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the video one way or another. I thank you very much for tuning in. Definitely some more e-bike stuff coming. It is the season, right? So see you in the next one very soon. No nonsense, no how. 2, over out. And at the end of this video, I did want to flip through the owner's manual real quick. One thing I didn't show you is that there's an app you can download. So this comes with this pamphlet. You can scan this one. Gus is coming over. Gus. Within the app, you can control the bike, and you can also do tracking for if you're going on a ride. It'll track all your specs and such. So again, not going into that in this particular video. Now this manual is very big, so I'm going to try to just give you a couple glimpses of some particular pages. I don't think we'll be able to go through the entire thing, but if you want to hit pause and be able to read any of this, because I don't think it's on their website. So maybe I'll just try to flip through this real quick. Get you all the specs in there. And of course this is for the Pro model. I guess I might as well get you each page, huh? Hopefully that's long enough for you to pause it if you'd like. Jen's over there holding Gus so he doesn't run back in front of the camera. Oh, that shows your cable pinouts on there and such. You know, because I didn't read this, so I'm sure I could have gave you guys some wrong information. Adjust the front suspension, pre-ride check. Torque specs, troubleshooting. So we got maybe like 10 more pages because this book is in multiple languages. Some troubleshoot. I mean, removing the battery, pretty self-explanatory there. Charging it, warnings. You guys don't really need that too much. More warnings. This is for your display. So yeah, that's kind of important because we didn't get too far in depth with that. Oh, it does have a USB charger on there too. I forgot to mention that. That's cool. Always nice to have. All your error codes. Warranty. There he just wants to sniff the book. Right, Gus? You just want to sniff the book. Inspections. And now he wants to tear it up too. Okay, go get it, boy. Go get the book. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Say hi, Gus.